Welcome back to my channel. This time we tackling on Africa. What is it being an African? That's a very special feeling. That's another experience. That's just something very extraordinary to be African, to be from Africa, all origin, be you in USA, be you in Mexico, be you in China, be you in Germany, be you in Australia, wherever you are as an African, you know your origin is from Africa. Okay, now this is the question. The name Africa, what language is it? What does it say? Where does it come from? Since Africa has got so many different countries, 54 counted, from which country, by which language is it named? Now this is the question. It's a very broad question, very investigative, and this name dates back very, way back in history. Agree or disagree on it, but eventually it gives that homeness, you know, that good feeling of Africa, home, love, togetherness, family. Huh? Let's go deeper.
Africa is where humans first evolved. It's here that the oldest human fossils have been found, and it's where many of the earliest languages and writing systems first emerged. Because of Africa's role as the cradle of mankind, it's hard to pinpoint exactly where the name came from, and there are actually quite a number of theories on the origin of the name Africa. Interestingly, however, for a good part of human history, Africa went by a different name.
The continent of Africa has had several names to describe the continent, and Africa is just one of the many names that have been used to describe this vast and varied landmass. But then, the origin of how Africa got its name is very oblique to the origins of this beautiful continent, which is why, in this video, we shall examine how Africa got its name.
Historians and geographers like Herodotus and Strabo actually attributed the name Libya to the entire continent. You can see that here in recreations of both of their maps. At the time, only the northern end of the continent had been explored by outsiders, which today includes the countries of Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and modern Libya. It should also be said that Egypt was not, at the time, considered to be a part of Africa. This land was given the name Libya after the Libu people who lived just to the west of Egypt. Despite being a rather small tribal offshoot, for historians like Herodotus, Libu came to represent the larger ethnic group of North Africans, which today we would call Berber, who are lighter skinned and have more Western and Arab features than the Africans further south. To Herodotus, there were two ethnicities in Africa, Libyans, who were found in the north, and the Ethiopians, who were the darker skinned people found further south on the continent. This is the origin of the name Ethiopian, by the way. But to Herodotus, the Ethiopians represented a small portion of the inhabitants of the continent, despite the fact that today we know it's actually the other way around. So he and others called the continent Libya to signify it as the land of the Libu. Of course, this name didn't last, so what happened?
Okay, let's take different scenarios from different views of explorers, investigators, those who did the survey on the name Africa.
The word Africa is an evocative one that conjures up different images for different people. For some, it's an ivory-tossed elephant standing before the snow-capped peaks of Mount Kilimanjaro.
Subscribe or something if you want to. I'll be back next week. Thanks.
Very interesting, very interesting. It's very interesting there to find out that we cannot locate exactly where the name originates from. There are various links hailing from language to language that you can say, okay, as it was explained. But eventually we have Africa today, which is giving us the home, the love, the warmth, the strength, power. Africa! Are we together? This is our Africa. Eventually, it is Africa. Thank you for having been with me on the channel. Stay in touch. There are so much more we can explore and learn from. Keep on. Stay in touch with this channel. This is your channel. See you next time. And subscribe.